FightHype.com here with the man of the hour. I mean, I hate to say the man of the hour because it's not a good hour right now. But we're here with Hasim Rahman Jr. Obviously, the big news over the weekend, your fight with Jake Paul has been canceled. Before we jump into any of that, I just want to, kind of kick things off here. I know both you guys have made videos, right? He has his version of the story. You have your version of the story. Jake is basically making it seem as though, you pulled out of the fight. Like you're pulling out of the fight. You don't want to make the weight because you're, quote unquote, scared about losing to him and whatnot. I just want to start with that statement. Is it true? Like, is this factual, or are these lies that you actually pulled out of the fight?
So that's a lie. I never would, under any circumstance, said that I didn't want the fight, or that I was pulling out the fight, or that the fight was a make or break for me at any point. That's what their side has been doing. It's been all bully tactics from their side. It's all take it or leave it, do this, or we're scratching the fight, or do whatever, and it's over, or it's over. And the last that we heard from our side was you agreed to 205 by 11:59 p.m. tonight, Eastern Standard Time, or the fight's off. And we said, okay, well, give us 215. We didn't hear anything back. The next thing I seen, Most Valued Promotions was scrapping the fight online. They just completely canceled the fight online, telling people they get refunds, and then maybe like 20 minutes later, I see Jake come out with an interview. So when it's coming from Jake, I'm like, what? Wait, how is this? And then I'm asking my people, and we still, to this moment, still haven't gotten any formal like cancellation, like this fight's not happening. So, I mean, this is like, if this was 10, 15 years ago, Twitter wasn't around, we wouldn't even know that the fight was off.
Wait, so you guys were talking, and like they gave you a deadline and then canceled it before the deadline? Is that
Exactly? That's exactly what happened. We got the proof. We got it right here. It's email correspondence, and they said you have until 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to agree to the 205. This was the new contract they sent. You have until 11:59 p.m. to agree to this contract, or we scrapping the fight, and we're gonna announce it in the morning. They never waited to the morning. They never waited for me to get to the deadline. They just, like I've been saying this entire promotion, they just try to ram stuff down your throat and make you do stuff like right away on day moment that they say do it, they want it done. And then they said, do it by this time. So we still under the gun, but we say, okay, give us 215. They don't say nothing else. We waiting for them to respond. And their response was the cancellation via Twitter.
wow? So let me just backtrack real quick, because I know, like I watched Jake's video, I watched your video. It's hard to really put together like what you weighed at what point, this, that, and the other. But what I do know is April 28th, right? April 28th, you weighed in for your fight with Kenzie Morrison, right? Correct. That fight, you weighed 224 pounds. That's indisputable, right?
Correct.
So between that time and when you were contacted for the Jake Paul fight, like, had you blown up a lot in weight? Were you still kind of around that same weight?
So that 224 came after it was like an 8 to 10 week training camp. I had like 2.5 months to get ready for that fight. I made it all the way down to 224. So, and if it took me 10 weeks or 8 to 10 weeks to get to 224, how do you expect me to get back to that point and then go all the way back down in a manner of time that was just highly constricting, and it was doable. That's why I took it. That's why I did it. Now the commission gave me 205. I make 205 easy money, but they didn't give me a chance to cash in on that because they pulled the plug early. They sat there and said, you got until 11:59 and then pull the plug at 8:07. I don't understand why they did that. How you gonna just pull a plug all of a sudden?
So when they came to you with the opportunity to do the fight, obviously, they put in stipulations in the contract for the weight, right? Like there were penalties, there were fines, right? If you didn't actually make the weight.
Yeah, there was after 4 ounces for every pound that I was over, then I would get fined 25% of my purse. Up to the point if I was 4 pounds over or more, then I would fight for the minimum $5,000. That's what I signed up for. So I don't understand why they not honoring the contract that they sent me. If I was gonna fight them for $5,000 and I was gonna fight them for $5,000, the money was never the big motivator in this. Even though they love to sit there and put the claim on, oh, this is the most money ever made in his career. Well, it should be. I'm fighting on Jake Paul on pay-per-view. I'm about to expose you. Should be the most money I made in my career. But and it would be for several other people, whoever it was that was going to fight him. But they like to use that as a I don't know what they like to call it, a bargaining point or whatever they want to call it. But it's just it's really just them being fake to the people.
So was this because I know there was talk of a video that was sent, and the commission was checking in, and all this other stuff that normally doesn't happen for most fights that I've ever watched. Is that something that was part of the contract too, where you had to check in every single week, or is that something the commission was just trying to do?
That was absolutely not in the contract. They kept throwing stuff out for me from left field. I was finding out stuff while I was in camp. Like I was in camp, and then they told me I got to check in. I got to weigh in on Friday, and I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, you got to weigh in on Friday, or we scrapping the fight. And I'm like, why do I have to weigh in? And this is a week ago. So why do I have to weigh in two weeks before the weight, 2 weeks before the actual weigh-in, in order to keep the fight going? So I obliged. I did exactly what they said. I sent them away. Then they come again this week. We got to weigh in again. I'm like, I just weighed in last week. So now I have to not only make weight in the beginning to get the fight, but I got to make weight 3 weeks before the fight, or no, 2 weeks before the fight, 1 week before the fight, and on the fight weigh-in day, and again on fight day. So I got a total of like 5-6 weigh-ins. I didn't sign up for all that. This is all stuff that they do, and they put in stuff that's not even in the contract, and then they come out and threaten that they're gonna pull a fight if I don't do it. Everything that they threaten me with, they're gonna pull a fight if I don't do this. I wound up obviously doing it. Now at where we at now, they gave me until 11:59, and they pulled the plug early.
He made a comment in his video. He said, like, out of nowhere, your team called him up and, like, just basically said, we're not getting any lower than 215. That's it. That's a wrap. Like, is that accurate? Like, did you guys make an ultimatum?
Not nobody that I heard. I don't know what he's like. I don't understand where he's coming from with all this. We said 215. They said 205. We was trying to get it, of course I'm gonna try to get the most weight that I can get. Seeing that the fight is coming up. So all right, if y'all gonna give me some weight, then give me some weight. All right, bet. We're gonna see how far we can go with it. But they said, with us responding with 215, they pulled the plug. So that's that's like me telling you, yo, we got until this time to do this interview. If you don't call me by this time, then I'm pulling an interview.
Right.
And then you don't call, but I take off the ability to do the interview. I end the Zoom link or to turn my phone off or whatever 3-4 hours before I told you at the time to do it. That's not fair.
Yeah. Well, I know that I've been following boxing for a long time. I even follow MMA, and it's not unusual for fighters to still be cutting weight like during fight week. So, are you surprised that they didn't even give you an opportunity?
I was surprised from the jump. The opportunity wasn't afforded to me to even get to the weigh-in, and that they were trying to do things to take away the opportunity from me. I didn't agree to get on no scale, 3-4 weeks in advance or 2-3 weeks in advance, or whatever the case may be. I agreed to an August 5th weigh-in, and I agreed to an August 6th rehydration weigh-in. And I also agreed to fight for a certain amount, the minimum, if I wasn't to make the weight. This was never a part of this losing the fight. If I was a certain amount of weight prior to the weigh-in was never a factor. Uh, Another part of the reason why they didn't get a weight on Saturday was because they wanted me to be 208. Why do I have to send you a video of me being 208 a whole week before the fight? Why do I have to? Why do I have to be that close? That's crazy. Like you said, in you follow boxing and MMA, people can lose 10 pounds in a day. People lose 15 pounds in a day. Now, I stated in my video that my body was telling me I couldn't make it, but I still had time. That's the thing. They took away my time. That I had until 11:59 to sign for 205. Like they just literally snatched it away from me and announced that it was over on Twitter. And then here comes Jake with his menstrual videos.
So, I mean, it sounds like this was kind of a situation where, you guys kind of had a concern. Well, it's getting tough, and we're just trying to let you guys know, like, we might not make this, and they just weren't happy. Like, it almost sounds like they used that as an opportunity to just say, all right, fine, fuck it, fight's off.
That's exactly, pretty much what happened. Like, and it wasn't us causing concern for the weight. It's not like we went to them and was like, yo, we were confident. Like, my team was telling me that, the weight's gonna come off, don't worry about it. That was them with these, we wanna see how much he weighing. They wanted to check how much I was weighing the whole camp. How, if the very first video that I sent in to the commission, the very first video I sent it to the commission, how's BJ Flores tweeting about it, telling me exactly how much I weigh? If we sent that video in for the commission to review, how is that making it to his head coach?
Right.
It don't make sense to me. And I'm not saying there's nobody on the commission fault. I'm not putting the blame on nobody. I'm just stating the facts and saying what it is and what's actually happened. So who am I actually weighing in for? Who's really pushing the buttons? Because the commission didn't tell me that they was going to call out the fight. They promoters, the Most Valuable Boxing page or whatever, the Most Valuable Promotions page, they the ones that did this. They the ones that called it off. So that's on them. That wasn't on me. They gave me until 11:59. I tried to do it by. I'm sitting here like, all right, give me 2:15, waiting for them to respond, and their response was to terminate the fight. They don't want to fight.
Wow. Well, that sucks, man. I mean, hopefully people can kind of understand how, the whole situation played out. I know a lot of times whoever gets the narrative out there first is what people run with, but I did want to make sure people knew, like, you didn't pull out. Like, this wasn't a situation.
They didn't pull out. Like, they pulled the rug from under my feet. It's not like I didn't want to fight. I did want to fight. I can make 205 by Friday. We can still line it up. This is on them taking away opportunity from me. But I still haven't gotten a actual formal cancellation. I've only seen tweets and videos and stuff like that. I really haven't been told by anyone official that the fight's off. This is just what I've been seeing on social media. Like I said, this was 10, 15 years ago. And our campsites, the fight still will be on. There will be no Twitter, no Instagram, no nothing like that. The fight will still be on.
You'd have been the last to find out.
Man.
That's crazy. Well, look, man, I know you got to run. I know you got things to do. Is there anything you want to say before I let you get out of here? Any last message you want to send to Jake Paul?
Man, listen, Jake Paul is scared. Jake Paul do not want to get in the ring with me. He definitely don't want to get in the ring with me being the best version of myself. I'll fight that man at 200, at 205. It don't matter. I'll take the fight just like I took it. They didn't get me into the deadline, y'all. I was waiting until 11:59. I don't know what else to say. They canceled the fight. It's really not on me. I felt like I was responsible and I was dedicated in my training and my eating, my diet, and I could still make the weight. So we waiting on Jake.
Next time, keep your shirt on at the media workout. You won't stay on weight.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, man. They try to find any old excuse to get up out of this, but I mean, like I said, I haven't had anything. I haven't had any. The lawyers ain't tell me it was off. They told me we had until 9:59 to sign it, and then they went on Instagram or Twitter, Instagram, whatever you want to call it, and canceled the fight. So, I look to really get this boy in the ring and put my hands on him.